Hello everybody, Lalana. This is Lalanascrochet. And I said when I started, well, not when I started, when I got to wear this beautiful sweater, that I did have to do a few things to it to finish it off. And it's what I'm doing today, because it's a beautiful rainy day outside. You can see my, why can't I turn my camera around? Anyways, but no, it's misty, foggy outside, because I live at the top of the mountain, so I guess that would be clouds. And yeah, it's been raining for a while, a long time. But I'm finishing up my second cuff, and I decided to just do back post, front post for a couple inches to kind of give it a sleevey feel. I don't know, I was just figuring it out. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I figured I'd have you guys join me for a couple minutes. And I watched everybody with their cast-ons. I'm so proud. I was like, you know, I should try to get a kit one day. That would be nice, get a kit. I'm just doing back post, front post, cuffs. Here's my front post. Double crochet. See? And it makes a nice little cuff. And finishing up some projects. Well, not finishing up projects, but I'm finishing this one that I started 2 years ago. She was in timeout for a while. Oh, and I just realized that Mad Mimi's Crochet, Lala from Mad Mimi's Crochet, that's also one of my nicknames. But this is the Lala Land cardigan from Bag-A-Day Crochet. I forgot that that's what I had, but until she showed it, and that's the one she's making with her special yarn from Bag-A-Day. And yeah, it's yeah. I was like, oh, but that's why I picked this one out also, was because of the name. Lala's Lala Land Cocoon cardigan. So great minds, I guess. Except I did it first. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I did, but it was in timeout for an extraordinarily long time. And I don't even know why. Oh, you know why? Because I was afraid I wasn't gonna have enough yarn. That's probably why. And then you get to a point where you're like, well, I'll just do it until I run out, and then if I run out, I'll have to figure something out. So, I guess I could find an accent color. This is just this is my favorite color, this forest green. And I got them, they were Ogos, and I got them at Big Lots. I didn't even know Big Lots had yarn. I think it was, well, because I don't go there very often. I went there and I bought my Christmas tree there several years ago. I mean, I just don't go in there. Well, I don't really shop very often anyway. When my kids were younger, I did, but kids need stuff. But now that I want to say I'm older, but I'm not that old. I mean, I'm going to be 52. I'm going to be 52. But that's not that old to where, you know, you don't want to go to the stores or whatever. So there I go. That's the end of my, this way they're both even. I did actually, the last one, the other side I didn't slip stitch into because I want to weave it in really nice and make it beautiful. So they're both the same length now. Even though I counted the rows, I still had to measure. I'm like, why does this seem off? But you know how it goes. Sometimes you just don't realize, or I miscount. You want the sleeves to kind of match, or you'll look lopsided. And my sleeves are only, what, 3 inches? I did measure them when I first started. I guess I could measure now. They are, yep, 3 inches. But I have short little velociraptor arms. I don't need really big long sleeves. When you're a short person with short limbs, the length of your sleeves doesn't really, I mean, if they're really long, well then if they're really long, you either roll them up, pull them up, or have them long and hold them with your hands. I did that for years and years and years too. Because you know, when you wear hoodies and stuff, I only have one hoodie now. Because I'm hot. I'm a menopausal adult woman. I don't need a lot of hoodies now. I'm sitting with a fan right now, but it's because I got the window cracked and I have the fan blowing on me. It's 44 degrees outside. And it's probably 77 or 78 in here. So my husband was very kind and stocked the fireplace before he left. I'm sure he does that more for himself. Well, no, he said today he did it for us to keep me and my daughter warm. She's in her bedroom. She uses the space heater in there. Barely. She just lays under the covers. She doesn't really need. And then she's got 2 cats in there cuddling with her, so I'm sure she doesn't need too much. And I'm just weaving it, and see, I closed it up nicely at the end. This was my join here. I closed it nicely, so it looks beautiful and all matchy-matchy. And now I'm just weaving it, and I made this extra long end just so that I could weave it back and forth several times and make sure that it's very, very secure, because the cuff is where, you know, I mean, it gets rubbed a lot. The ends is where, you know, I'm gonna wash it, because, I mean, not that I'm a pig or anything, but I mean, you know, life happens. So I'm hiding all my ends. All the dogs are in here sleeping. Oh, you know what? They didn't all get excited. Because maybe they're used to me talking now to nothing, to nobody until it's sent off. Because it gets so quiet in here when they're all just laying here, and then I just start talking. I guess they decided none of you are a threat. It used to be when I start talking, they'd start going banana balls. Because, oh no, Granny. What did I do here? There I go. I was having a moment there. And then I'm gonna go in this spot one more time. And I try to weave in between the threads of some of the stitches too, without going all the way through, so we don't see them on the front. And then I guess I can't put that in my mouth and talk at the same time, huh? And then I pull it up a little bit so that when I cut, and like it stretches a little bit. So when I cut, and then I pull, that little end slips back inside one of the stitches. There. Oh, I guess I could take off my markers. I was too lazy to get up and get a counter, so I was just putting stitch markers on, adding a stitch marker to each side when I would. It's a cheater thing. Laziness or making use of my resources. I like that one better. And I do like to store my stitch markers open so that when I'm in the middle of trying to figure out what I'm doing, counting or whatever, I'm not going, rah, you have to try to open the stitch marker. I need more fingers. Okay, here I go. This one was holding the spot, making sure I didn't need to do more. I'm gonna pull this out. I don't do it like everybody. They do this way. Oops. See, yeah, that's why I don't do it this way. They do this and then they squeeze it on there. I don't do that. I don't know why. I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. I mean, your hole is already 1 inch long. If you can't freaking make your yarn fit in that hole, come on. And my eyes are terrible. I do it by feel now. So let me turn you around so I can see this side. Make sure I don't get that stitch, because this is the stitch I did right here. This is the one. This one. You can see it going back inside because I can pull it up. Well, I guess you can't really see. This yarn's kind of dark. My bifocals aren't doing their job. But I like how it makes a seamless join for the last row. Because you can't really, I mean, it's the underside, you know, of your arm when you're doing your sweaters anyway. There's gonna be a fault line there. You just can't help yourself. So, and thank goodness Juan did I had another sweater in timeout when this one was in timeout. It was a sweater for my client's dad, whose name is also Juan. And he did a make-along. And I was like, and he did a sweater. And I was like, oh, thank God. He did a chunky cardigan or something. And I had already taken this thing apart twice. That other entire sweater. And it fit a grown man. And I couldn't get the sleeves. I could not figure out how to do the sleeves. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch tutorials. And I don't know why. I've done sleeves on stuff before and it wasn't that big of a deal. But for some reason, this time I could not get the dang sleeves to work out. So I took the entire thing apart again and I started with his make-along, with Juan the Yarnetics make-along. And I did it. I finally did it because of his way. I think because of it's a chunky cardigan. So it made the sleeves not so daunting. I was able to just do it and get it done. They were the same size. They looked exactly the same because, of course, you know, I can't just choose to make a regular old cardigan. I got to make a blue and red one. And it's, you know, it has to have stripes and it has to be the right way to make your life easier, Elena. That's all I say to myself. Sometimes I think, like, why did I want to do this? Why did I want to do this way? When, you know, sometimes you just have to have those talks with yourself, like, you done lost your dang mind. Don't make your life easier at all. And I know, you know, like, it was a volunteer thing. I wanted to make it for his birthday one year, And I started it, and then I pulled it out again, and I was working on it, and I got mad, and I packed it away again, and then it was for his, I kept thinking about it, it was on the back burner, like, well, maybe for Christmas, and then I didn't pull it out, and then that finally, last year, he retired. And I was like, you know what, he's gonna retire. I need to get this sweater, and it'll be his old man sweater for retirement. I know, I'm so mean, huh? But yeah, that's what I did. So I finally finished it. I was like, it was just perfect timing, Juan. Thank you very much for both of the wands. It was very, very perfect timing. So there I go. I'm gonna pull it up just a little bit so that I can tug and that little end disappears. Guess I should take the scissors out of my hand before I stab my eyeball out. Take my stitch markers off. I do have a few more things in here to do, like there's the ends, of course, of where I started. I'll weave those in. And then I have these cute little stickers, these cute little tags I bought, these little, and they say handmade with love, even though this is my own sweater. I actually have a hard time remembering which side is the front or the top, because it's a cocoon and there's not really any differentiating. I did make part of the collar on the top, I made it a little longer so it would flip over easier. I need to kind of stiffen that up a little bit, and then I'm gonna put my little taggy in there so I know which part, you know, when I'm putting it on. It does have the, I also have to figure out the button, because I just don't know. I have an attaching problem. Like, I'm not attaching the button. I have no problem attaching the button. My problem is how to attach the button so that it's useful. I don't have anything on the other side to attach it to, because I didn't make the holes big enough for this button. So I have to figure something out. I should have got like a toggle maybe. But I like this button. And it matches. It matches the idea of what I had when I wanted to buy a button for this cardigan. Could I change my mind? Of course. Will I? Probably not. Because, you know, that's just how we roll around here. Upside down, uphill, backwards. We don't do anything the way that we should, because that's just who we are. So anyways, oh, and I do have a almost finished object. When I get it finished, I will take a picture and post. Maybe do a short or something, because it's very pretty. I made a cowl from Sarah Satch Crochet. Sarah Satch and her Snowbound. I made it last night and it's so pretty. I'm almost done. It has fringe, so the fringe is taking a bit, but actually it's been pretty painless, I have to say, altogether with the fringe. Actually, I had a hard time with the pom-poms. How many times have you made a pom-pom in your lifetime? You've been making them since you were in elementary school, and now all of a sudden it's for a project in your space. So that's what I'm working on, and I hope you join me next time also. Thanks for being with me today. Happy hooking!